The Supreme Court paused in respectful tribute to the late Felix Pizzarello. The 4 Supreme Court judges were joined in the courtroom by members of the judiciary and legal profession. His wife, children and grandchildren were also there, listening as he was remembered not just for his distinguished legal career, but for the man he was away from the courtroom. The Chief Justice spoke of Felix Pizzarello's long service to Gibraltar's justice system, and of a judge remembered for his integrity, humility and fairness. He said Judge Pizzarello's decades of service did not simply reflect a long career, but as a lasting contribution to the administration of justice in Gibraltar. But the most personal tribute came from his daughter, who described him as a devoted family man who never allowed his work to come before those he loved. She spoke of his calm nature, his strong principles, and the quiet guidance he gave to his family throughout his life. Director of Public Prosecutions Christian Roca also paid tribute, describing Felix Pizzarello as a man beyond reproach, guided by a strong moral compass. I spoke to Mr. Roca after the ceremony and first asked him about the many qualities that stood out about Judge Pizzarello, both on a professional and personal level.
As a human being, as a judge, as a person, he was human. He was full of integrity, impartiality, his sense of justice. He knew what was right, what was wrong, and that shone through in how he was as a lawyer, as a judge, as a family man, and I was lucky enough to have played many times on the cricket field. So that's really what he was. He was a gentleman above everything else. His standards were always the same. You know, as I think I said in my speech today in court that he was a man who would not tolerate sharp practice or cheating. That's what he was. He was just a fair, honest man who dispensed justice, who always had a kind word for everybody, would have time for everyone. A gentleman, as I've said. He served Gibraltar very well in his judicial capacity, in so many different roles. People will know him mostly for the coroner's inquest, which he handled in an exemplary manner, but as a family man. So someone who was able to do both things, have a family, care for his family, but have a great life in service of Gibraltar.